Here we are at our example 2b from our 2.67 notes. We're asked to determine the line of best fit. Now, in just looking at our function, we're really trying to identify what is this red line right here that best fits that data. Now, how we actually do that is we're going to go ahead and pick 2 points that kind of very much fit on this line. And so just looking at this, it looks like we have a nice point that's definitely on there right there. And then maybe this one right here as well. But again, we want 2 points that pretty much fit that data pretty well. There are many different ones that kind of go through, but we'll go ahead and just choose these two. So right here we have, looks like 0, comma, negative 30, coming from this one. And then we have our point right here, and he was 15, comma, negative 11. So again, we just chose 2 points that very well fit our data. Somebody else may have chosen 2 other points. That's totally fine. Anytime we are given 2 points, immediately what we can always find is our slope between those 2 points. So let's go ahead and do that. We have our x1, y1, and our x2, y2. And pretty much it's really just like what we were doing in 2.4. We're just constructing a line now with these 2 points. So if we just look at our slope, we have our y2, which is negative 11, minus our y1, here he is, negative 30, divided by our x2, here he is, 15, minus our x1, 0. Simplifying that up, we end up with negative 11 minus negative 30. Really, if you're subtracting a negative, we are adding it. So we have negative 11 plus 30, and that comes out to be 19 on top. Over 15 minus 0 is just 15 on the bottom. So again, this is our slope, this 19 over 15. Next, what we're going to do is want to construct the equation of that line now using our slope that we just found and one of these 2 points. Now, anytime you're trying to figure out the equation of a line using point slope, and if you are lucky enough to end up with something like this where one of the values is 0, you're definitely going to want to choose that point right there because it will make your life a little bit easier later on. So we end up then with this first y, he's just going to stay y, just like we described previously, minus our y1, here he is, negative 30, equals our m, here he is, 15, 19 over 15, so we have 19 over 15, times our x, our arbitrary x that stays that way, minus our x1, here he comes, being 0. Going ahead and cleaning things up, we end up with, if we're subtracting a negative, really we are adding that. So we end up with y plus 30 on the left side equals, if we go ahead now and distribute on the right, we end up then with 19 divided by 15 times x gives us 19 over 15x. And then 19 over 15 times 0, when we distribute it there, anything times 0 is just 0. So really, we have plus 0 over here. Again, that's really why we chose this point. Anything that has a 0 works out kind of nicely. Then lastly, all we need to do is solve for y. So we're going to go ahead and subtract 30 from both sides. Over here, they cancel on the left, leaving us with just y equals our 19 over 15x. And then 0 minus 30, we get negative 30. So here is our line of best fit. This is the thing that really is that red line that pretty much models our data. Now again, somebody else may have gotten something slightly different than this line just because of the data points that they might have chosen. So someone may have gone with this one, and that's okay as long as they did all the slope and point slope and all that. And it would end up slightly probably different than ours, but it's kind of in that general same realm here. Now the end game goal for determining the line of best fit is where you have roughly the same number of points above your line as we do below it. And example 3 is going to illustrate that a little bit better than this one. The issue with 2B is that all of our data is really, really compact and tight, so we kind of just chose 2 points that seemed like they were on that red line. But again, you might have something very different as a final answer for this than somebody else, and that's okay. That can happen. Again, though, that is 2B from our 2.6 set of notes.